All right, so this is gonna be our next motorbike. Yeah, so some might say this bike's a little bit too big, and they're probably right. It is. The tires are almost as big as the Cherokee's tires. But when you put it next to other bikes, it's not that big. Here it is next to the Mercier. Here it is next to the Schwinn. Stay tuned and see what we do. I already switched out the bars. It came with the factory bars, those guys over there. Go straight bars on this too. This looks pretty awesome. Now, bigger question is, do we paint the wheels? Which I think is a yes. We're going to paint them black. Probably. It's just easier. And then second question is, do we paint the frame? So, just took this thing out for a ride. I rode to the hardware store, but hardware store was closed, so then I rode back home. One thing though, I put these bars on here because I like them more than the blue ones that came with it, but I need longer screws for this because this part's kind of wide. It'll work, I just need longer screws, but I don't know. So they came off on the way home, so I had to adjust them. One thing I will tell you about this, if you're thinking of buying this bike for riding it places and stuff with the single speed, it is not fun at all. I would say it's downright like torture. It's slow, it's heavy. I mean, you don't feel bumps, you can climb sidewalks and stuff, but that's about it. You can't really go uphill because it's so heavy, or at least I couldn't. So anyway, the plan now is I'm gonna take off, put it on stand, take off the wheels. We're gonna paint the wheels black. With the wheels black handlebars, take off all these stickers and stuff, and we'll see how the orange looks. Might end up painting it. I'm thinking painting the frame maybe like a charcoal gray or off-white, and we'll see. But the key thing, longer screws for the stem, and then I'm gonna paint the wheels black, which in my opinion is the color they should have probably came in anyway. All right, so I don't think we're gonna take off the tires and everything. I'm just gonna pop off the wheels, let the air out, put some tape behind them, and give them a good sanding and painting. Or maybe we'll take off the wheels, tires, who knows. All right, let me get started. Alright guys, so we got the tires and wheels off, so now I'm gonna see how much of a pain it is to take tires, because I think it'd be better just take the tires off for painting, but I'm gonna get started on that. Alright, so I got the tires off the wheels over there. I gotta say, these things I think are bigger than the spare tire on the donut tire on the Cherokee. To be honest, these things are pretty hefty. One cool thing, sort of, I guess, new thing about them is they are rotational. And this one tire has wear only on one side, so it was put on facing the right way, so I don't know what's going on with that. But got the wheels off. I'm gonna sand them real quick, start painting them. So we're gonna start by painting the wheels black and just see where we go from there. All right, let me get started. All right guys, so got the wheel sanded, prepped, ready for paint. Just waiting, put some grease remover and stuff just to clean it up a little bit. Waiting for that to dry off all the way. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you the drying setup. So it's only like 50 degrees outside, so it's not hot enough for the paint to really dry well outside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a bungee cord across the top here, and on top of that support there, and over to this side. and I'm gonna turn the heater on inside the van, and the van is gonna be in essence like my drying booth for this paint. And I'll leave it on for like 30 minutes or so. Once it smells less and stuff, I might bring it inside. But first I wanted to get a little bit dry. This stuff that I'm using is just Rust-Oleum, a whole bunch of different cans with different finishes. So I'm going to use these two as primer, and then my final coat is going to be in semi-gloss because that's what I want at the end. But that's pretty much it. Let me get everything set up and I'll show you guys what it all looks like. Guys, so there's the wheel. It's got one coat of paint. I'm still going to do another coat. Just want to make sure it dries in between coats real well. So that's why I put it in the paint booth, let it dry. In the meantime, I'm going to grab the other wheel, give it a coat, and let this one dry a little bit. Let me go grab that. Alright guys, so this is still drying, but it's pretty dry. So we're going to do the final coat on this. This is the rear wheel, the first one we painted. So let's get started on that. And I mean, so far it looks pretty good. So semi-gloss on this and then we're done. Alright guys, so this is the last coat on the second wheel. So after this, we're done painting, let them dry, then we'll put them back on the bike. Now the last thing to do is set a timer and wait for them to dry. We'll come pick them up in about 10 minutes or so, and then take them inside. Hopefully I didn't miss any spots. If I did, that's the time to touch them up. But let me show you actually up close. But so far, they're looking pretty good. They just need to dry up a little bit. But I'm pretty happy with the results, especially for painting them on a super windy day and in the carport and drying them in the van because there's no sun. And Mr. Buddy Heater, always thank you. Got like a million things you can do, buddy. I'll post a link to this in the description to Mr. Buddy Heater. If you don't have one, you can do a random project like this. It has a lot of practical uses, and this is one of them. Alright, so let me close the door so it gets nice and hot in here. Then we'll come back and get these in a minute. Alright, so since I've been waiting for the wheels to dry, I took all the stickers off the frame, so it's not a mongoose anymore. And then I got the wheels over there just drying. As soon as those are dry, we'll put the tires back on and it'll be a rideable bicycle again. One thing I am going to play around with right now is the stem. I'm going to try to get those straight bars because those straight bars look pretty sweet on here. And I need to try to figure out how I can get them to work on here while still threading on. Went to the hardware store. They didn't have longer bolts that matched this because these are M7s. I guess that's kind of a weird size for an Allen bolt. So going to, I mean, it was Home Depot. Home Depot doesn't have the best selection of bolts, but let's see if I have some extra ones somewhere maybe from another stem and transfer them over. All right, guys. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Put the tires on the wheels and switch the seat. Took the seat off one of the other bikes because this seat's kind of big for that other bike, and actually on this it kind of works because everything's so big. And it has springs on the back, which I kind of liked on the red bike because it actually, once I put a seat on there with springs, it absorbed the shocks really nice. One other thing is I'm trying out these bars. These bars were on the Streamliner. I have other sets of bars for that, and pretty much I just put them on here to try it out. I still need to get those longer bolts for the stem. I have other bars. So now the question is, do we paint the bike one? No. With stickers off and everything, or just starting to grow on me a little bit. I'd like to do something to kind of give it a little bit more of a retro vibe or something, but we'll see. And then the bars, they're chrome. The stem's gonna be black. I just feel like the bars should be black too, so maybe I'll sand those down, or another set of those I have somewhere. Alright guys, so on our fat tire bike, motorized bike budget so far, we have $100, which was the bike, and I got it used. If you get a new one, I mean, it all depends. Those Mongoose ones, I think they're like $280 or something new. So definitely, I would suggest go used. Most people don't ride it much either because they find out they're not that great to ride unless you put a motor on it, which is what we're gonna do with this one. Then this next thing that we spend money on today is we spent $10 at Home Depot on wheels, on the wheel paint and sandpaper. Okay, and then other things I changed, you don't have to change, but I think that looks better, is the bars. And on mine, I got those bars for like $5 at the flea market used. Now, if you go out on Amazon, you can actually get new ones, and they're painted black already, so you don't have to paint them. And I'll post a link in the description, and those are $30. So, I mean, for $30, they're not too bad. So, you might consider getting a new set and just putting them on, not having to paint them is not a bad idea. Then another thing I put on that you don't have to, but once again, I'm just going over stuff that we put on. So we went used here, $10. And sometime, you know, we had to sand the wheels and do all that. And then bike seat, same. I got that for $5 used at the flea market. If you get a new one, they're like $25 on Amazon. I'll post a link in the description to one. That's our grand total so far to $120, and that is before putting the motor on it. We're gonna put the motor on it soon, and right now our estimate, new motor, you can get a used one, but I suggest just getting a new one. On that, we're like $110 on the new motor, and there's some brackets and stuff that I ordered, and those are going to be about $10, and those are going to offset our motor and make it all work pretty good. So right now our estimated budget after everything's said and done, we're looking at $240 total, unless something else comes up. But $240 for a motorized fat tire bike is pretty good. You do have to put in some work yourself and stuff, but overall that's our goal. So right now we're right here. In our next episode, probably, we're gonna be putting the motor, unless I decide to paint the bike. I'm still back and forth with painting it or not. So anyway, let me know in the comments section, should we paint the bike or not? What do you guys think?